The year is 1761, a time when the seas were both a pathway to new worlds and a graveyard for many. The vast Indian Ocean, known for its unpredictable moods, churns and roars, a force of nature that commands both respect and fear. Caught in its grip is L'Utile, a French ship laden with a dark, secret enslaved people from Madagascar, bound for a life of forced labor in distant lands. Their destination, the Île-de-France, now known as Mauritius, a place of both opportunity and oppression. But fate, it seems, has other plans as the ocean's fury begins to unfold.
As L'Utile navigates treacherous waters near the island's coast, disaster strikes with a sudden, violent force. The ship, battered by unseen sandbars, runs aground, its hull groaning under the strain. The hull cracks and splinters, swallowed by the relentless waves. Panic erupts among the crew and passengers. The cries of terrified souls, sailors, officers, and the enslaved fill the air, a chilling symphony against the roar of the ocean, a testament to their shared desperation.
The churning water becomes a scene of chaos, a maelstrom of human struggle and natural fury. Some, desperate to escape the sinking vessel, leap into the sea, only to be swallowed by the waves or dashed against the jagged teeth of the reef, their hopes extinguished. Others cling to pieces of the wreckage, their hopes as fragile as the wood beneath their hands, praying for a miracle. For the souls aboard L'Utile, their journey has taken a turn towards the unimaginable, a nightmare they never foresaw. The Isle of Sand, a desolate and unforgiving speck of land, awaits, offering no solace, only the harsh reality of survival. In the face of disaster, survival instincts kick in, driving the survivors to take immediate action. Those who manage to escape the sinking ship, battered and bruised, wash ashore on the Isle of Sand, a place unknown to them. They find themselves on a barren strip of land with no immediate signs of life or resources. A desolate sandbar offering no solace, no immediate escape, and no clear path to safety. The vastness of the Indian Ocean surrounds them, stretching endlessly in every direction, a constant reminder of their isolation and the daunting challenge ahead.
Amidst the wreckage, a semblance of order begins to emerge as the survivors start to organize themselves. Europeans, sailors and officers, accustomed to the hierarchy of the ship, find themselves on equal footing with the Malagasy, the people they had enslaved, now working side by side for mutual survival. Survival knows no social standing, no race, no language barriers. It unites them in their common goal. The need to live transcends all else, driving them to cooperate and support each other.
Cooperation, born out of desperation, becomes key to their survival. They gather what little they can salvage from the wreckage. Planks of wood, scraps of sailcloth, anything that might be useful. A few barrels of food are found, providing a glimmer of hope amidst the despair. The Malagasy, skilled in the ways of the sea, prove invaluable, their knowledge of survival techniques a beacon of hope in this desperate hour, teaching the others essential skills. The fight for life on the Isle of Sand has just begun, and their journey to survival is only starting. The Isle of Sand, true to its name, offers little in the way of sustenance. Fresh water is scarce, a precious commodity under the scorching tropical sun. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, a constant reminder of their precarious situation. The survivors scour the island, their hope flickering like a candle in the wind. They discover a few stunted trees, their roots offering a meager supply of fresh water. The Malagasy, drawing on their ancestral knowledge, teach the Europeans how to extract moisture from the plants and collect rainwater. The ocean, their adversary in the shipwreck, becomes their reluctant provider. They fish with makeshift tools, their catch is small but vital. They gather shellfish from the reef, their fingers raw and bleeding. Every morsel of food, every drop of water, is a victory against the relentless grip of starvation and dehydration. The relentless sun beats down on the survivors, offering no respite. Shelter becomes paramount, a protection from the elements and a symbol of hope in the face of despair. The wreckage of L'Utile, scattered across the beach, provides the raw materials for their survival.
Working together, the Europeans and Malagasy transform debris into a haven. They use driftwood and planks from the ship to construct makeshift huts. Sailcloth, salvaged from the wreckage, provides a flimsy but necessary shield against the sun and the occasional downpour.
These rudimentary shelters, huddled together on the windswept shore, become more than just places of refuge. They evolve into a small community, a testament to human resilience and the power of cooperation in the face of adversity. The Isle of Sand, once a symbol of despair, begins to take on the faintest glimmer of hope.
Shadows of a Dark Trade, the Transatlantic Slave Trade. The tragedy on the Isle of Sand unfolds against the backdrop of a dark chapter in human history, the transatlantic slave trade.
This brutal enterprise, driven by greed and a callous disregard for human life, saw millions of Africans forcibly transported across the Atlantic, condemned to a life of servitude in the Americas.
L'Utile, carrying its human cargo from Madagascar, was but a small cog in this vast and inhumane machine. The Shipwreck, a tragedy in its own right, lays bare the cruelty inherent in this system, where human beings were reduced to mere commodities.
The forced voyage, the cramped and unsanitary conditions below deck, the constant fear and uncertainty, these were the hallmarks of the Middle Passage, the journey from Africa to the Americas.
The shipwreck of L'Utile, though a tragedy for all involved, serves as a stark reminder of the inhumanity inflicted upon millions during this dark period of history.
Weeks turn into months. The survivors on the Isle of Sand, their numbers dwindling, cling to hope. They scan the horizon, their hearts leaping at the sight of any passing sail, only to have their hopes dashed time and again.
Then one day, a ship appears on the horizon. The survivors, their spirits ignited by renewed hope, frantically signal for help. The ship, a French vessel, responds to their desperate pleas, but their joy is short-lived.
The ship's captain, citing limited space and provisions, makes a fateful decision. He agrees to take only the European survivors. The Malagasy, deemed less important in the eyes of the French captain, are left behind. Promises are made, promises of a swift return, of rescue, but as the ship disappears over the horizon, it leaves behind a profound sense of betrayal and a gnawing fear that they have been forgotten. For the Malagasy left behind, the rescue of the Europeans brings a mixture of relief and despair. Relief that some will escape the clutches of the Isle of Sand, but despair at their own abandonment. The promises of return ring hollow with each passing day.
They continue to survive. They refine their shelters, becoming adept at procuring food and water. The skills they learned from their ancestors, their resilience in the face of adversity, become their lifeline. But the psychological toll of abandonment weighs heavily.
Days bleed into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. The vastness of the ocean becomes their prison, the Isle of Sand, a cruel parody of paradise. Yet they hold on to hope, clinging to the belief that they have not been forgotten, that one day a ship will return for them. 2 years pass, 2 years of uncertainty, of battling the elements, of clinging to hope. Then, on a day that begins like any other, a sail appears on the horizon. This time it is not a mirage. A ship sent from the Île-de-France has finally arrived to rescue the remaining survivors.
Their joy, however, is tainted with a bitter truth. They are not returning to freedom, but to a life they had been so cruelly ripped from, a life of forced labor, of servitude. The nightmare, it seems, is not over.
Their story, though largely unknown, serves as a powerful indictment of the slave trade and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The survivors of L'Utile, both European and Malagasy, endured unimaginable hardships. Their experience is a microcosm of a dark chapter in human history. The tale of the Isle of Sand, though tragic, offers profound lessons about human nature, the capacity for both great cruelty and remarkable compassion. It is a story that echoes through time, reminding us of the duality that exists within us all. It highlights the arbitrary nature of fate and the power of resilience in the face of adversity. The island's harsh conditions serve as a metaphor for the unpredictable challenges life throws our way. The shipwreck of L'Utile and the subsequent struggle for survival on the Isle of Sand serve as a potent reminder of the human cost of the transatlantic slave trade. The wreckage stands as a silent witness to the suffering endured by those who were enslaved. It forces us to confront the horrors inflicted upon millions and to acknowledge the lasting legacy of this brutal chapter in human history. The echoes of this past still resonate today, urging us to remember and learn. The story also underscores the importance of cooperation. of recognizing our shared humanity regardless of race, religion, or social standing. It is a testament to the strength found in unity and mutual support. In the face of adversity, the survivors of Luteel found strength in their common desire to survive. Their story is a powerful example of how collective effort can overcome even the most daunting challenges. The tale of the Isle of Sand, though a story of survival against insurmountable odds, is ultimately a story about the indomitable human spirit, the will to live, and the enduring power of hope, even in the darkest of times. It is a narrative that continues to inspire and teach us about the resilience and strength inherent in all of us.